G-Herbo's life was in severe danger last night when he did a show at a nightclub, and he would be confronted by a rival gang member who would throw up a set directly in his face, wanting him to react so he could inflict intentional harm to that man. Now, for those who don't know, G-Herbo, formerly known as Lil Herb, was born on the southeast side of Chicago in the South Shore area on the block of 79th and Essex. Now, he grew up throwing up the rakes, wanting to be GD, but he eventually settled into being NLMB, which is a hybrid gang of Black P Stones, which G-Herbo is, and GDs. Now, I'm not here to break down the politics of Chicago or the structure, because from the outside looking in, it doesn't look like there really is any structure. People flip gangs. People are GDs and they beef with other GDs. They GDK. People are Black P Stones and they're part of No Limit, which has GD members in there, but they still GDK like G-Herbo. So I can get the confusion, but let's move on. Coming up, G-Herbo had it rough. He's been going to jail as young as probably 10 or 11 years old. His mugshots have surfaced all across the internet of him looking like a child that should have been playing Roblox, should have been messing with the girls who were skipping rope outside, but instead he was doing things that a young kid shouldn't have been doing in the streets. Growing up, he lost a lot of people. At one point, I even say that he's lost over 50 people. There is footage of him crying on podcasts about losing close friends, and he's placing the burden on himself. And he's had people's grandma saying, listen, my grandson died because of you. I'm just asking you to push forward and don't let him die in vain. That's a tough life to live.
And you know, it's so crazy. Like when it happened, before it happened, we all was like on this one block, and the police pulled up right there and did some shit like, everybody like they didn't even hop out and frisk us. They was like, everybody lift y'all shirt up, and just like to make sure we ain't had no guns on us. Right. Shit. Lift our shirt up, and I went around the block, and lo and behold, as soon as I get to the corner after I told the girls to move around, they just pulled up shooting, and I got hit, and like me and like 8 other of my homies, like 9 of us got hit. That shit was on the newspaper article. Like, damn. Yeah, some crazy shit for sure. Yeah, like 9 of us got shot that day.
Then you wish you'd had that thing on you, wouldn't you?
Nah, I ain't gonna lie. Of course, for sure, but I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you for real. When that shit happened, when the police pulled right there, I threw my gun like on the like in the field, like, under somewhere. I had it on me 35 seconds before it happened to me. I'm just showing you, I know 50 people that's dead. This is my real life. Probably one of the worst days of my life. Our last conversation was really just us telling each other how much we love each other. I get a call from one of my homies like, yeah, look, Ray just got shot in the barbershop. I didn't even feel right being in LA. I was ready to throw my life away. I had the suitcase in the back of my track car. I drove to my man's crib in LA. I looked out the window. I seen like 200 birds flying. I'm like, I ain't even finna go back and crash out. I get on the plane still. I left the whole suitcase in my track car. This is how you know my mind race. I get on the plane, I go to sleep. I had a dream. Me, him, and his baby mom walking around the neighborhood going door to door, asking like, yeah, who killed bro? But he right there with me asking who killed him. I got off the plane, I go straight to his grandma's house. She really looked at me and said, my grandson died because of you. He like, you better not your life up. You not finna let him die for nothing. You better be the best you could be.
The fuck is on me? You know what I'm saying? In front of the world crying. What the fuck you wanna do something to my little brother for, gang? You wanted to do something to me, and I ain't ever even want to speak on this on the podcast. I'm telling him stop going to that fucking barbershop. And no disrespect to the barber, but fuck him. If he fuck with you, make this come cut your hair. I'm telling him this countless times. But he just such a good person. He know ain't no like he ain't thinking like that. I kept telling him this, so that's why I feel like I'm responsible. I know I'm not responsible because I can't live life. Nothing I do. If I get a Grammy, an Oscar, I must think about my little brother, gang. I ain't gonna lie to you. My life can't be complete without him. I ain't gonna lie to you. It don't feel complete. It's never gonna feel complete without him. That's the truth. I ain't gonna never be able to feel complete without him, man. It just don't make sense to me. It don't add up. And I've been through a lot of it still ain't making sense to me. Why he not here? I know y'all tired of feeling like this, gang. I'm G-Herbo on Cowboy.
So imagine making it out of that life, surviving survivor's remorse, grieving still about homies that you've lost, and then you try to live your life as professional as possible. You get booked to go do a nightclub like last night, and there's still some broke, dusty niggas who plan on trying to pull you back into the abyss of ignorance and genocide. Somebody that's trying to ruin the community, coming to attack G-Herbo, and G-Herbo having to be put in a position where he's like, man, what do I do? Do I gotta live my life like my old life, or do I just keep it pushing? Because while walking through the club to go put on a performance, that's exactly what happened. A broke, dusty Negro threw up the pitchforks that represents the GDs, and we all know that G-Herbo represents GDK, and he was expecting an altercation, and this is what happened. And G-Herbo played it cool, but I will say I know that he was pissed. It's just the natural reaction in his body that he had to withhold. I know he wanted to do something because he didn't address it one time. He addressed it about 3 times yesterday on the internet because I could tell that he was seething. And he didn't want people to pull him back to that old life because he's a 30-year-old man with kids. And he knows he needs to make it home.
I fuck with you, man, straight up. I see niggas throwing signs in this bitch. Hey, this is my brother in the back, man, throwing signs. Look, I fuck with all real street niggas all around the globe, man. I don't give a fuck with the GD, BD, Mo Stone, Cook, Blood, man. We real street niggas, we get money, man. You came out here to fuck with me, like I said. I fuck with you, man. Let's get this shit going.
He would even go on Facebook and say, you niggas' brains must be the size of a pea. Why would I crash out about a broke MFer that paid to get in the building to come and see me and F up my back end? Can't trick me out my position. I don't even take NF serious. You can throw up the rakes and I'ma keep dropping it.
Hey man, y'all think I made it all the way to 30? Being a fucking idiot, being stupid. Hang it up, man. I ain't never let no nigga trick me on my motherfucking slot. I ain't get here by accident, man. Straight the fuck up. Nigga ain't gonna never see me crash out. But just know I'm gonna be 10 toes. Everything I believe in, everything I stand for, I'm dying behind this shit, and I go to jail for the rest of my life behind this shit, nigga. And I ain't trying to go do that, you see what I'm saying? I got a family to raise, nigga. I got kids to raise. But everything I believe in, I'm dying about, so don't let that go over your motherfucking head. But you would never trick me on my slot, nigga. I'm here to stay, straight up.
Yeah, so I'm gonna say this. G-Herbo, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you, young black man. I'm proud of you. And usually, y'all see a lot of videos that I make where I'm trying to correct behavior. Some would say it's negative. Some would say I'm highlighting nothing but negative things. Well, what do you say to this? Because even though gangbanging isn't a positive thing, even though I would like for G-Herbo, who said F the streets along with 21 Savage's campaign, to more so walk in the face of what he does. Now, I've heard his music mature, but him saying that he's still going to throw up GDK, you know, that's still kind of disappointing. But overall, I'm proud of him because that had to be a lot of restraint that he showed. Because just, first of all, being a man and somebody putting their stinking ass, dirty ass fingers in your face that they probably been rolling up backwoods and fingering the local J on the street in exchange, you know what I'm saying, for a little crack rock, you know what I mean? You probably don't want that dusty nigga in your face. I understand. That took a lot of restraint. Also, putting your career first rather than fucking up the business by one, losing money, ruining your reputation, and then that escalating into something that you never know. Y'all gotta remember, for example, remember when T.I. back in the day went to Cincinnati, having a good time in the club, nigga comes up to VIP, telling him he gotta do this and he gotta give some type of protocol to Cincinnati niggas. T.I. hits that man. which led to them then following T.I. out the club and shooting up his car on the interstate. And not only his best friend dies, his bodyguard as well, which is the same person, Falant Johnson, dies. And then he had to carry that burden of, damn, I told everybody that we was gonna get back home safe. If I didn't put my hands on this dude, my friend would have never been dead. Now, we can't stop God's plan. We can't rewind our actions. But we definitely will tell you now that things are avoidable. I mean, if we want to look at what recently happened, look at Z the Wizard. Z the Wizard got into an altercation with some Mexicans in the strip club on New Year's, 3 hours into New Year's. 2 kids, 2 daughters. He wouldn't let it go. Followed the Mexicans outside. Told his partners to load up. They get the shoot. He walks in the line of one of his partners. Not only did he throw away his life, he threw away his partner's life too. So G-Herbo, this is real leadership. And I gotta praise him for what he did, because things could have went different. And he understands that he ain't on his turf. I don't know what city he was in, but he ain't in Iraq. He can't act like that. Look how King Von went out in Atlanta, thinking it's sweet. Thinking it's sweet, off drugs. Homeboy's not stopping him, letting him do stuff because he's King Von. Listen, every dog has his day. He ran into some other people that weren't as scared as him. They laid him down. King Von ended up getting his partner killed. His other partner got shot in the head and then died a couple years later due to the complications of being shot in the head, having multiple surgeries. You think King Von would take that back? How many times do we got to see this happen? How many times do we got to see rappers dying for making the wrong decision? So that's why, like I said, I'm praising G-Herbo. Might not be that big of a deal to y'all, but he did the right thing. And as for the nigga who threw up the pitchfork, you're pathetic, dog. I hope you cherish that moment, because we know that that's probably going to be the highlight of your life. So you mean to tell me you were standing on the block with a stretched out wife beater, probably some dirty drawers you've been in 3 days, some basketball shorts, smoking a spliff that you sharing with 5-6 niggas, and they said, yo, you know G-Herbo gonna be in town tonight, and you scraped up your $20, got there early, 9:30 p.m., and you sat there until 2 o'clock till G-Herbo showed up. You planned it. Hey, homie, make sure you record this. And you planned perfect that when he walked through, you was gonna throw the rakes in his face. And you probably thought that you'll have a chance to fight him. Hell, stab him, kill him, get a reaction out of him. And all you got was a, what's up though? Maybe even might have said, yo, what's up to the brother in the back? You know, that's the highlight of your life. You're gonna go back to that same dirty block. And you're gonna go tell all those same dirty niggas that you play PlayStation with all day, that you dropped out of high school with, and you probably should have just stayed in school and got your education with. You're gonna tell them, that nigga G-Herbo, man, he ain't on shit, man. I put the rakes off in his face. He ain't even do shit yesterday. I thought he was Mr. Big GDK. And they gonna sit there and be like, yeah, bro, you did that. That's gonna be the highlight of your life. Good luck with that. So I gotta salute when I see somebody that's walking around with sense. G-Herbo is one of the smart ones. So now we just gotta take the next step. We gotta stop talking about the GDKs, because this is still gonna invite this type of activity, this type of behavior your way. And I know you don't want to be doing that. I know you don't want to keep getting confronted, because at some point you might be having a bad day and then you might react how you don't want to react normally. And we see the type of father you are. You're active. You just got engaged. You turned 30. You living life, man. I understand. Just, you know, word for thought, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think, though, man. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, comment, hit that notification bell. And we out, baby. Boom.
IG-TheLaFlare.
It's him.